Greetings, everyone. I'm often misunderstood, and sometimes when that happens, I don't mind because I don't mind remaining a mystery. But there are times or there are certain things that I don't like that misunderstanding, where as far as trust is concerned. So I would often encourage folks to send me their stories or their requests for videos by providing you with my email. And sometimes I say, if you want to share your story, you send me this message. Now, when you look at my inbox, because right now I'm in Gmail, when you look at my inbox, I've got, I think that's 1,089 videos. Sorry, letters that I receive in my inbox. And sometimes it takes me a little while to get to it because I also have another email address that I share, but I usually share this with, special folk that I have a real connection with. But in this Gmail, I try to clear it out at least once a week, and then, I get more. So I have conversations with people that watch my channel, some who are not even actively watching the channel anymore, but still stay in touch and still have questions and so on, so on. So I did a video recently where I really came out hard against a female. And, if you are someone who has problems with trust and you hear that video, you'll say to yourself, I would never share my story with her because she's going to put me on blast. And I want you to know that is not very true of me. That is not who I am. I have hundreds, at least per week, of individuals who will reach out and share their stories. And sometimes when I do the video, they will ask me, can you talk about it? I would like to hear what folks have to say in the comment section, because sometimes when people have decisions to make, they want to hear what other persons think. Now, my comment section is often not very active, and you wouldn't understand how much I appreciate those of you who share your ideas or your thoughts. But I also respect the fact that you might not be comfortable with sharing, your ideas in the comment section. I completely respect that. Now, the person that I addressed in that video, and if she's watching, she's gonna understand why I have gone off. I had at least 30 correspondence with this individual. And to be honest with you, the first time I read her email, in bold letters, I had to say, oh my goodness, my God, I have to get back to you, because it was very overwhelming. It was something that pushed me back, but I had to come back. I had to say, okay, don't judge, because that's how I am. Don't judge. Because when it comes to spirituality, I am very open. However, what this lady was telling me was something that frightened me, to be honest with you. But I said, okay, let me give her the benefit of the doubt. And so I would ask questions and we go back and forth until I got to the point where this thing is way too deep and this thing really affected me. And the reason why it affected me so badly is because I have had experience with individuals who have worked witchcraft on me. Not once, not twice. I have actually shared some with you that I haven't spoken about extensively on my channel. Coming across, people who use dark energy to harm other people. Now, when it comes to spirituality, it is an individual thing. I said to someone recently that in the church, those of you who go to church, you take sacraments. You go to church and you do what they call taking, remind me somebody, it'll come to me. But you drink the blood of Christ and eat the flesh. That's symbolic offering that you do, communion. That's it. You take the communion, and when you are of Christian faith, and you go to church and you take eating the body of Christ and you're drinking the blood in the sacrament that they're giving you, you don't think anything of it. But if you were to see someone in Africa do the very same thing, you would start saying that they're devilish and they're demonic. And there's a chance that someone could take away from that video where I was addressing this woman about asking me to refer her or assist her in doing magic on her so-called lover. Now, the truth of the matter is, there's two sides to that story, and I don't want to get into the other side because I don't always want people to know exactly what I know. But I acted in a way that if someone watched that video or listened to that video, they would say, oh, I'm never going to share my story with her because look at how she's coming out here. I responded the way I did because I was trying to say to this individual, focus, assuming that story was even true. I'm saying focus your attention on you now and your family and your children that you claim you have. And try to rebuild yourself. Whatever you've lost, try to rebuild. Even setting aside the fact that this person was demonstrating herself to be a very dark force, a very scary person, I still try to give her the benefit of the doubt. I have shared with you on my channel individuals who have tried to kill me, literally try to poison me, allow me to test food that they suspect was poison, and to this day I still speak to that person. Now, I'm not saying this person is my friend, but I can barely think of a thing that someone could do to me for which I wouldn't find a way to still be able to stare them in the face and still have a conversation with them. You don't have to be my friend for me to be civil. If you've done things to me, if you betrayed me, if you have done things to cause me to know that I can't trust you, then you won't get very close to me. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go around the world with hatred in my heart for anybody, because that is way too much. When you carry hatred in your heart for people, you're not hurting them, you're hurting yourself. And that is a message that I would share with every and anyone. I made this video because I'm saying, if you felt uncomfortable with that, and you feel like I would love to share my story with Jenny, I use my discretion. So all the number of emails that I get on a daily basis, some of them don't make it to surface. I don't talk about it. Sometimes individuals actually want me to talk about something, and I use my own discretion to say I'm not feeling comfortable talking about that. Maybe I'll address it in a roundabout way without, even when folks say my name, I don't care. I often avoid doing that because you might say do it now and then later on you regret it. So I am not the type of person that you couldn't confide in, but I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to confront you if you are doing wrong. And in my case, and in that case, the woman was doing wrong. If her story is true, what she was saying to me was terrible. And it affected me in the worst way because I had those experiences. And I don't want anyone to say, oh, these things are not real. Because to be honest with you, the folks who say they don't believe, using the word I don't believe in whatever, are oftentimes the ones who dabble in those things more than anybody else. You have to know that these things exist. You know that there are different levels, there are energies that people understand how to use or how to manipulate to do terrible things to people. And you might be one of those folks who, just can't understand why nothing is working out for you. Why all the things you try to achieve in life, you stumble upon just pure, what you refer to as failure. These things are real. And what the lady was sharing with me is an example of someone who could use dark magic and to really control somebody in a way where they break up their family, where they lose everything, where they get involved with somebody and you're wondering after it's over what hit you. There are individuals that you could get involved with, and besides the whole idea of soul ties, we're talking about them doing things to you, giving you stuff to eat, giving you, all kinds of stuff, using, magic to control you. And I don't understand that. It makes me very angry, because the thought that this woman would actually go to seek, you know, individuals to do things to a person that she claimed to love was something that I was very angry about. I'm sure it came across as such. I am still interested in sharing, and what I learned, what I've experienced, what I understand. And I don't want to have a blanket statement to say, when people come and say obia, that falls under so many different areas and category. What I don't like about some of our people, those who actually feel that they want to learn more about this kind of spirituality, is they tend to automatically go to it for the dark side of it. They don't understand that our people, our ancestors, were spiritualists, in the sense that they understood the body. They knew how to use plants. They knew how to, look at the seasons, look at the sun and the moon and the stars, and use certain methodology or certain things to, gain prosperity, gain health, stay safe. What is wrong with that? There would be nothing wrong with that if that's what you're learning, how to use nature to help you along. But I have a problem when you could do that, when you could learn that, and you choose to just want the dark side of things. So, for example, someone watches someone who they perceive to be successful in life, and instead of finding out from the person, what are you doing? How did you do this? You go to find a obia man or whomever, and you're asking the person to destroy the one who is successful, or the one that you think, is doing better than you in life. I just resent that. I resent the individuals with that type of mindset who wouldn't want to learn how to use nature or how to use science. Because listen, science is being used in the world to achieve all kinds of end. And many of us who, when we hear the word science and we get all in our feelings, we fail to understand that it's science. Science do the greatest things in the world. And again, I am supposed to prepare a presentation for you to go back to Egypt to look at things like alchemy. And if you're interested in that, let me know. I've done a part of it already, but to look at it more in depth, how to use alchemy to achieve certain ends, to bring about your enlightenment. Why do you have to automatically go to use this thing that you would learn, or this craft, to do evil? I just don't understand that. And so if you wish for me to share some of these stories about coming face to face with folks using black magic against me, not in my mind, but I saw it, I experienced it, I confronted it, I overcame it. And every person who's been involved in this, I am able to look them straight in the eye and know that you did this. You did this to me, but here I am. So it's not a matter of do I believe? I don't believe. I know that these things exist. And it's a choice if you want to go down that road, that dark pathway, or if you want to stay on the path where you're enlightened, where you learn some of the things from the ancestors that help you to, have optimum health and wealth. Understand, as I said, as African people, we're never removed from any creator. We are always centered, and not just as African people, human beings on a whole. But if you understand yourself as a person, understand that, the rhythms, as I talked about before, understand that whatever you need in life, it is just about a science. It's a specific action. Understanding words, how they're spoken. Now, there's a gentleman that came under my video, and he said some things when I was talking about how I don't want anyone to refer to my locks as dreads because of where that word came from. And he had a new perspective on it. It was just unfortunate that he couldn't teach me without trying to kick me. But it's okay. It's just one of those things, because sometimes as teachers, we tend to have this very condescending way of how we approach this teaching. And truthfully speaking, people tend not to respond very well to you if you're going to talk to them in demeaning ways. And I'm not saying I've not been guilty of it, as I've explained to this gentleman. I am very open to people opposing my views. I am. If you're smart, you'll see that I have no problems with these opposing views. However, I take very unkindly to individuals who come to the table for that conversation and bring pure insults. And, their comments are, that backhanded slap where it seems like they're giving you a compliment, but what you're actually doing is insulting you at the same time. I take very, I don't take kindly to that kind of thing. And I'm the sarcastic queen. And so you can't use sarcasm on me and I miss it. I will never miss it. Do you understand? So I've had to respond to folks in my comment section, because sometimes you walk away and sometimes you ignore and sometimes you bring love. But there are individuals in this world for whom love does not work. You try kindness and gentleness with them. It's like you raise a bull. You open the pen and let out a fierce bull. They just don't understand that, okay, this person could just meet me where I'm at, but they're choosing to use kindness or choosing to use love to respond to me. And you cannot bring love to devils. There's some, if you don't meet them where they're at, they will never go away. They will never stop. They'll abuse you. And I've had a lot of abuse in my life, to be honest with you. And I was someone who went through many, many years of, taking that back seat or lowering my eyes so I do not meet the gaze of such ones. I am not like that anymore. I look you right in the eye, face to face, and we are going to either live together or we're going to die together. Okay? Because I think we are tricked into saying turn the other cheek. We are conned into saying that play nice and be nice. Some people don't know how to play nice or be nice, no matter how hard you try. And so sometimes you have to meet them head on and you have to deal with them, and sometimes deal with them wickedly. Do you understand me? And so if my comments come across as, I'm rude or whatever, then, I'm not going to apologize. I'm sorry. I'm not going to apologize. If you were a nice, respectful person, then I wouldn't have to come to you with that attitude. We could argue back and forth forever, and I never insult you if you don't insult me. But the moment you come with your disrespect, I'm not always in the mood for it. And I'm not always just trying to ignore you or delete you. Sometimes you got to get a taste of your own meds. So the overall message here is to say that don't be afraid to share your stories, because as you can see here, they come, and they come on a regular basis. And sometimes all I have for these folks are just questions, just to get them to think. And sometimes all some folks want you to do is just listen. Okay? But that video that I did addressing the woman who was asking me to either refer her or to help her tie a man was something that I couldn't stomach, to be honest with you. And so Apple, you said it was a cat fight or something like that. It really wasn't. It was someone who I tried to give the benefit of the doubt. And the more I tried to sort of pull back, and I got to the point where I like, let's end it here. I just don't want to have this conversation anymore, because I realized that I was not going to be able to maintain respect if I did. And she wouldn't stop. She infuriated me. And sending me picture of herself and who she perceived to be whosoever. I don't know, something about that. I have been hurt by people who have chosen to use witchcraft on me, and it wasn't pretty, and it's very difficult to break these kinds of bondages. And so I don't like people who choose to use what they could use for good and use it for evil. I have no regrets about that video. And so if you know you're into wickedness, you have plots and plans for other human beings, don't share those stories with me, because I will come for you. I don't know when and how I presented myself to be an evil person. I don't know why. I've been watching that video. What is Obia? I've been watching it over and over. I've been going back to it to say, is there any way that I could have presented that kind of idea here? And I clearly stated that I'm not into blood sacrifice and I'm not into certain things. I've warned people to be careful, because when you talk about hobby and stuff, some people will read a book and just learn a few things and think they know something, and they don't know what they're getting involved with. And so for those of you who says I am a hobby woman and come to me to do evil, it's an insult to me, to be honest with you. I needed to watch that video again. What is hobby? And don't come here with evil mind or evil intent, because you're going to miss that message altogether. I have a lot more to share, and so much that would help persons to understand that you don't have to worry about the condition that you find yourself in right now. No matter how negative it is, you can get out of it, you can overcome. And just stay positive, keep an open mind, and know that even the things that we consider to be bad, they're stepping stones. They are preparing you for the journey. They're tests. Life is a test. I go through these battles all the time, and sometimes I'm sitting under a tree, in my mind, in my head. I'm under this tree resting, and I look at the horizon, and when I look, I say, another one is coming, another fight is coming. I'm like, damn, as a soldier, where is the rest? I need some rest. But one has to always be ready for the battle. Because guess what? We're all here for a purpose. And, we're not just here just to look pretty. We're not just here just to be nice. We are warriors. We are soldiers. And when we come to this world, we come to achieve certain ends. We meet people who help us along our way, even if it's good or bad. If you understand life that way, to say that every person you meet in your life, they are helping you to get to the next journey. So make every day count and learn from every lesson, and be open to learning and unlearning, and always be ready for the element of surprise. But you shouldn't just want to receive surprise from other persons. You should be in a position where you're also surprising them. Stay blessed, everyone.